Hello weirdos, welcome back to my channel. Guess who we have visiting? Yes, the baby. Yeah, look at you, you're so cute. You wanna say hi? You wanna say hi? No, she just wants to lick my face. Alright, so what are we doing today? So today I'm going to do my TBR for the Queer Lit Readathon. This is round 9 and Queer Lit Readathon has 3 judges. I will link their channels in the description down below. That is Kathy Schildhart, I cannot speak, but it's Kathy, Rogan, Shannon, and Beck from Mooney Reads by Starlight. I can read my own terrible handwriting. So there's a bunch of different prompts. There is a bingo board that'll pop up here on the screen. Yeah, you can do a bingo, you can do whatever. I'm not planning on doing a bingo. I just found some books on my bookshelf that would count towards some of these prompts and went with that. So you can do the bingo board, you can do it however you want, but you just want to read more queer stuff. That's what I decided to do, right? Right, baby? The readathon starts June 5th, which I will try to do some vlogging, but I cannot guarantee that I will because I might be moving, might be searching for apartments, because I might have a job or might have to make a decision about a job. So I don't want to commit myself to that. We'll see how I feel. Next week, I'm going to a wedding in the upcoming week. So yeah, sorry, just got distracted by a notification that I got. Job related. Ugh. Oh my god. I'm gonna tell you how freaking exhausting job searching is. Okay, so let's just talk about the books that I'm gonna read, because that's why we're all here, right? Okay, so the first book fulfills the prompt for science fantasy, and that is Winter's Orbit. This is by Everina Maxwell. Super excited about this because I think it's gonna be just the perfect blend of a lot of tropes that I like, particularly tropes from fan fiction. Not saying that this is fan fiction, but a lot of the tropes that I like in fan fiction I see in this. So you have two people who are forced to get married to each other because of political reasons. The two people obviously on the cover. So it's an arranged marriage situation. They're both men, so that's why it's queer. And honestly, I stopped reading the description after that because that was already super exciting to me. I'm we have aliens, we're in space, it's science fantasy, and there's queerness, and it's arranged marriage, so we're probably gonna get some messy queers in this and a bunch of fuckery, but I think it's gonna be a wild ride. Yeah, and it's gonna be a love story, and I'm just so down for that on so many levels. Sometimes you just need a little bit of love and goodness. The next prompt that I decided to fulfill is actually messy queers. I was super excited for that one because I think we all know, all of us queer folk, we can be hella messy a lot of the time. Anyway, but for that one I chose MGZS, or the Grand Master of Demonic Cultivation. This is my Moshang Tong Shu. I cannot speak. This is the second volume. I've read the first volume. I've actually already read this, but it's about this season to, they're coming, the books are coming out, and I just want to read it. So both of these characters are just so fucking messy. So it's obviously a continuation from the first book. You know what? I don't really remember where the first book left off. Oops. But basically, a plot summary, this character, Wei Ying, he commits suicide at the beginning of the first book, and he is resurrected by Mo Xuan Yu. He has to solve this mystery of why there's this arm. He is bisexual, and fucking messy bisexual. So much so. I don't really know how to describe it. I love Wei Ying. And then you have this character, Lan Zhan. And Lan Zhan they were best friends. They described each other as soulmates in Wei Ying's first life. But it's been 16 years from when Wei Ying died and when he was resurrected. Actually, no, 13 years in the books. In the TV show, it's 16 years. The canon in this is wild because there's all sorts of different types of canon. Anyway, so Lan Zhan is holding this torch for Wei Ying for 13 years. He reunites with Wei Ying when Wei Ying is resurrected, and also goes to help Wei Ying solve the question of what the fuck happened to this arm, what is happening, who does the arm belong to, How do we keep the arm from killing people? Basically, both of them are super messy. Lan Zhan is like the kind of person who's just very, very stoic on the outside and represses a lot of his like emotions. That's how he deals with like a lot of stuff in the beginning of the book. And once he like validates his feelings for Wei Ying, he just, it goes off the rails because, you know, he just cannot stop but show his affection and show his love for Wei Ying. And Wei Ying is just fucking messy, man. I don't know how else to describe him. He is very, not necessarily scatterbrained. He's a genius, but he winds up going down a path of cultivation that is seen as not good. It's demonic cultivation, hence the title. And not a lot of people accept it. So he's sort of pushed aside. But he's also kind of like one of those people who will shamelessly flirt with everybody while having no actual like romantic experiences, which is very, very funny. I think, yeah, there's a lot of humor in this series, but it also can be very, very dark. Some people in the fandom describe it in terms of the ending of the story as Wei Ying and Lan Zhan dancing on a pile of corpses, because it's really sad for like everybody but Wei Ying and Lan Zhan, the ending particularly. I could talk about this forever. I'm not going to, so I think I'm going to stop so I can talk about some of the other prompts. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh my god, I just read the back cover. We are getting the Yi City arc in this one. Holy shit. The Yi City arc of this has some of the messiest queers, and it's very sad. It's like the saddest. Very depressing. I'm not going to say more about the Yi City arc other than we have Shui Yang, who's a like psychopath, and his obsession with Cao Xingchen and how that destroys and corrodes the relationship between Cao Xingchen and his partner Song Lan. Very, very sad. Damn, this is not gonna be fun. I remember when I first read this, that arc hit way sooner than I was expecting it to, because in the TV show and everything, it happens way later. Damn, this is not gonna be fun. But, ooh, maybe I made a mistake choosing this book for this prompt. Oops. Oof. Okay, next one, because we gotta keep moving. The next prompt is LGBTQ history, and so for that, I chose, if I can put it right, The Great Believers by Rebecca Malkai. And this is a novel, so it's not nonfiction, but this does deal with queer history in the fact that it talks about the AIDS or epidemic that was happening in Chicago. And that's part of the story. The other part follows this young girl uncovering kind of her mother's connection to this AIDS epidemic. So this one also looks really good. It was recommended to me by my supposedly queer, you know, we all have an eye for this thing, creative writing professor. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really, really good, but also very sad. Man, I've just realized that I've chosen some sad books, except for the first one, because, man, what's wrong with me? I guess I'm a glutton for punishment, especially emotional punishment. Okay, so the next one, next prompt is New to You, an author that is new to you. So for that, I chose Detransition Baby because everybody's freaking talking about it. It was nominated for a bunch of different things, including the Goodreads Choice Awards, and this is just a good excuse to read it. So this is by Tori Peters. This deals with relationship between two lesbians. Both are trans. One of them decides to detransition. Their relationship kind of falls apart. And throughout that, the person who detransitions gets a person pregnant. This could also probably qualify as messy queers, but in a very, very sad way. So it's going to talk about a lot of things like motherhood, child rearing, how this all works, relationships, love, all that sort of things. Oh my god, notifications keep distracting me. I need to turn them off when I'm filming. So I've just been hearing a lot of good things. I think this is also going to be somewhat depressing. Sad face, but I've heard really, really good things, and that's why I want to read this one. And for the very last prompt that I'm going to be attempting to read, that is for a retelling, and for that I chose The Witch's Heart. This is by Genevieve Gordachek. I'm not entirely sure how this one is queer, but I've heard it is queer. I'm wondering if it's queer because it deals with Loki, and Loki canonically in mythology is kind of gender fluid, if not straight up gender fluid. I don't know if there's other aspects, like, dude, I'd love it if the witch on the cover winds up to be a lesbian or bisexual, lover of women. Who knows? This is a retelling of Agaborda's, but basically it tells the story of this witch who falls in love with Loki, and then shit hits the fan. There's children involved. Odin is like is mad at her because she won't give him a prophecy that he wants. But I've heard really good things about this too. This was also like in the running for a bunch of different things, including the Goodreads Choice Awards. That's how I heard about it. So I'm excited for this. This looks really interesting, but I'm not really sure how the queerness connects to this. But I know people have said on the internet that it is queer of some sort. Those are the 5 that I'm tackling. I could have done more, but honestly, like, I think this readathon's only happening for like about 2 weeks. It's kind of a lot to tackle given the fact that I'm going to have an interesting time sourcing audiobooks for these. But yeah, that is the books that I'm reading. The baby says bye-bye. Bye-bye. She's so cute. You're so cute. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going to be doing the Queer Lit Readathon and what is the favorite prompt that you have chosen for this readathon and what are you going to be reading for it. All right, have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.